to the Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany Sconyers. On today's show, we have Gina Fontana. She's a certified health coach, whole food lover, health enthusiast, and author who grew up living with a relatively unhealthy body. Her teenage years were riddled with complications. After several years of testing and experimenting with different foods and observing how her body responded, she discovered that she has celiac disease. This discovery meant she lived a gluten-free lifestyle henceforth. However, it also started her journey into the world of nutrition, compelling her to start a food blog and enrolled at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition as she fell in love with the topic. She currently shares information about nutrition on her blog and has recently published a book titled Moon Milk, which contains 55 plant-based recipes for a good night's sleep. Let's welcome Gina.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
How are you? You're welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. We have some sunshine today, so it's so nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Gina will be doing a recipe on moon milk at the end of the show. Please stay tuned to the end. Let's jump right into it. You have been through a lot with your health. Please let us know how you're doing now.
Yeah, so I'm doing really great. I had 2 children. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so my body's still kind of normalizing after that. But overall, I'm doing really great, and I'm so grateful that I'm feeling much better now than I was feeling in high school. So,
yeah, you went through a lot of different complications during the high school. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I grew up, with all kinds of, health issues, joint pain, fatigue, moodiness. I just didn't feel good. And so my parents would take me to all these different doctors to try and figure out, what was going on. And I just never got any definitive diagnoses or answers. So I just stopped going and thought that, this was just how my life was going to be. And then my husband and I, we participated in the Daniel fast through our church. It's if you're not familiar with it, it's a fast where you cut out everything except for fruits and vegetables, nuts and grains, and water, and you do that for 21 days. It's like a religious fast. But during that time, I was praying for my health and just some answers there. And I got answers in big ways. I felt amazing during this fast, and it just all of a sudden clicked like, this has to be due to stuff I'm eating. And so that kind of jump-started my journey.
That's so great. I've done the Daniel's fast too. At our church, we do it at the beginning of every year. So it's amazing. It's a good cleanse for you and for you to get closer with God. That's really great.
For sure, yeah.
Studies reveal that a great percentage of medical reports are often misdiagnosed due to one error or the other. Did such thing happen to you in your childhood when your symptoms emerged?
Yeah, so I think that now in this time that we're living in, we're really starting to hone in on how diet plays a role in our health. Back when I was growing up, that wasn't like a priority for doctors. That wasn't like their first thought. It's got to be a genetic thing. It has to be this, medical diagnosis. And all my blood work was coming back, normal. And so it just wasn't investigated, that it could be attributed to something I was eating. And so I wouldn't say that it was misdiagnosed. It just was not investigated any further. But I could see, how that could happen with a lot of people, doctors, not being necessarily trained in nutrition. And so, it's different now, and I'm so glad that we're starting to pay more attention to diet playing a key role.
Yes, it's very important. What we put into our bodies can definitely affect us in the long term. And I think that's the problem, is that we feel like we can eat everything. And me, per se, like, I love fried foods. I know it's not good for you.
Yeah. There's an air fryer now.
So now they're coming up, so all these gadgets where you can have like air fried food, which is really cool.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah. When did you find out you had celiac?
Yeah, so finally I got diagnosed. It was actually after college. And, again, it was like an answer, and I was like thankful for that, so that, made me hone in on doing the gluten-free lifestyle. I'm happy to say now that I'm actually in remission from celiac because I've been so just rigid with making sure that I always eat a gluten-free diet. And so it is possible to, gain your health back. Your body is amazing. It can heal itself if given the proper foods and nutrition. And so, yeah, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful answered prayer. So
That's great. I actually had a scare last year in the beginning of 2020. I was having like really bad acid reflux, but I actually thought I was having a heart attack at one time. So I like ran to the emergency room. So this was during COVID. So I was kind of scared to go, but I knew I needed to. And, they really couldn't find out what it was. And then I decided to go to a gastro doctor. And then he wanted to do an endoscopy on me. So he did the endoscopy, and he found some acid there. Nothing serious. He was like telling me that I'm in great shape, none like his other patients that he had. And so he gave me some medicine, and I really didn't want to stay on the medicine. I'm really against kind of medications. So I found this tea that's for acid reflux. It has like apple cider vinegar in it. And so I started drinking this tea and pulling myself off of the medication. And I noticed that it worked, So it is all about what you put in your body, because bad. But after I started using it, I started losing weight, and I was eating like fish and vegetables, and it felt so good when I lost the weight and everything. So yeah, it's definitely about what you put into your body.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really great to hear. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you tell us more about this medical condition? How does one get celiac disease? Is it due to environmental factors, infections, or genes?
Yeah, so celiac disease is an autoimmune condition. So it's a genetic disease, which can be exacerbated by environment. Anxiety could even spark it. But it's very important for somebody who has an underlying genetic autoimmune disease to pay attention to, especially to what they're putting in their bodies. And so so mine just reared its nasty head, and I had to deal with it, and it's definitely more genetic based.
Okay. Can you tell us why you chose to become an expert on nutrition after learning about your condition? Many usually know about their health status but don't study it until they become a professional. What motivated you?
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily classify myself as an expert. However, I do have a background in nursing, and I am a certified health coach. And my diagnosis helped spark that interest, like you said. But it's just I think that I became so passionate about it because I didn't think that I could feel as good as I do. And so when I started seeing results of me feeling better and enjoying life, I just wanted to share that with other people. And we're all created differently. We all have different needs. What might be good for me might not be good for you. But I do believe that there's power in plant-based foods. And I believe that God gave us everything we need in plants to nourish our bodies and our minds. And so I'm hoping to share that with the world. So
Yes. Yes. You currently build a successful career around your love for a healthy body. But before we talk about your business, what advice would you give to someone who wishes to become a full-time health coach?
Yeah, so health coaching is definitely an up-and-coming career field. I know a lot of companies are utilizing health coaches for many different reasons. But I think that a health coach, it needs to be somebody who has experience or, you know, who really cares about the well-being of other people. So you have to be caring and kind. You also have to be patient. You know, we all start somewhere. You got to meet people where they are. You can't, you know, expect people to just change their whole lifestyle, you know, in a day. And so, you know, you have to just have that patience and willing to work with them, and listen, be a good listener. You know, and I think that practicing what you preach is also important. You know, I practice what I preach on my blog. You know, I eat that way every day, and you know, I'm not going to preach it if I don't believe it. So, so those are all, I think, important qualities of a health coach.
Okay, you also have a blog. We'd like to know the driving force that made it successful and how you benefited from it. What do you plan to do with the website in the future?
Yeah, so my blog, Healthy Little Littles, it started actually as a hobby to hold myself accountable. You know, it was really difficult starting out. I didn't know health coaches existed. You know, and again, diet was not a huge proponent, you know, when I started out. So I did my research, and, you know, I really wanted to heal my body and feel great. And so I started my blog because I was like, there has to be other people out there like me who are, you know, suffering and who are like lost and hopeless. And, you know, so that's where it started, and it's just grown into a business. And I'm so grateful for it. I get to stay home with my kids. You know, I do make money on my blog with, you know, brand advertising, with products that I love and that I really want to share with other people. And, you know, I don't know what's to come, but I'm just going to keep going and see, you know, what God does with it. And I'm just so grateful that I get to do this every day.
Yes, I love when people find their passion and are able to live it out. It's so amazing.
Yeah, I never thought that I would be doing this, but I love it. So
Your blog primarily shares recipes to help keep people's health pristine. Can you share some nutrition facts that regular individuals can apply to their daily lives to stay healthy?
yeah, so for me too, I still struggle with, you know, stress. I mean, we all do, especially now, you know, in the world we're living in, you know, but I think that stress is a big one. It can cause all kinds of crazy health issues in your body, and you might not even realize it. So, you know, managing stress, so doing yoga and eating healthy and, you know, exercising and drinking more water, sleeping well at night, you know, making sure you have a routine, you know, a bedtime routine, and getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you know, per night. I think those are all very important things. You know, doing what you love, you know, spending more time outside. I love being outside. So, you know, those are all, they all play a key role, you know, into our health. It's not just, you know, diet and exercise, you know, and so I think that your mindset has a lot to do with it too. If you're, you know, a more positive person and you have a positive outlook, you know, like I could have just not wanted to work that hard and change my lifestyle, but you know, I had to change my mindset, and I had to be grateful for God showing me this so that I could feel better. And so, you know, a person's mindset, all these things, they all work together. And so I plan to hopefully talk more about that in the future on my blog. Right now it's more like recipes, but yeah.
That's great. As a health coach, what are some meals or combinations to build a robust immune system?
Yeah, so plants, you know, we all know that mom said eat your vegetables, right? You know, so there's reason behind that, you know. So there, you know, getting all the nutrients from your food. And, you know, if there's something like, for me, because I eat a primarily vegan diet, you know, vitamin D and calcium might be a little harder for me to get. It is in different foods, but I do supplement with, you know, vitamin D, especially in Ohio where it's like cloudy and cold all the time. You know, so that has a role in immunity. Drinking, you know, fresh pressed juices, and yeah, going for walks, you know, all these things play into like your immunity, you know. So talk to your nutritionist or dietitian. Maybe there's something that you're needing that you're not getting, but you should be able to get everything from your diet.
Now let's talk about your recent book, Moon Milk. What inspires you to compress 55 plant-based recipes in this book?
Yeah, so I was actually approached from a publisher in London to write this book. I happened to post a recipe for moon milk on Instagram, and they reached out, and I was like, sure, let's do this. I was really, I'm very passionate about using herbs to kind of, help these things like sleeplessness or insomnia. And so I learned myself, just researching different herbs and things from the book for the book. And so, yeah, it was a really exciting project for me to take on and be able to share with the world.
Congrats on that. That's amazing. Somebody all the way from London.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, is this real?
I know, right? What are some common misconceptions about plant-based diets that you wish people didn't have?
Yeah, I think that the most common one, it's maybe obvious, is that, people that eat plant-based or vegan diets don't get enough protein. Because we don't eat meat, and so that is definitely false. There are lots of plants that have protein, like beans and legumes and tofu. Even broccoli has protein in it, and so I think that's a big misconception there. I'm not saying that meat is bad. I'm not like one of those vegans that judges people for eating meat. But if you're like I said, we're all created differently. But I do think that a primarily plant-based diet is best, just for many reasons. But protein, I think, is the biggest misconception.
My stepdaughter just recently became a vegan. She wants to just eat vegetables. So we're not. We eat meat, but we do support her on her passion to become a vegan. So we make sure she has all these different vegan meals for her, and it's really cool,
Yeah.
even though we're not doing it, but maybe one day we'll try for like a week just to support her.
Yeah, just try. I like
it. Yeah, right. What are your plans for the future as a health coach? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so as far as health coaching, I don't really coach on an individual basis anymore. I more like to concentrate. I'm like a creative mind, so I love recipe development and photography. And so I hope to health coach the masses that way, and just hopefully inspire people just to try a new meal or try a new food, or, just swap different ingredients, and you might not even notice. And just really, I hope to inspire people that way as far as coaching. So it's kind of like a silent coaching. Maybe one day I'll start again. But doing things like this, and through my book, and I don't know. I just hope to keep going. I hope I can do this forever.
Yes, that's amazing. So I'm excited about the recipe for moon milk. So I would like for you to tell us a little bit about it before you start.
Sure. So moon milk, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically drinking warm milk before bedtime. I don't know if you've heard your mom say that growing up, like you can't sleep at night. Your mom's like, here, have some warm milk. It's based off of that to help you sleep at night. Except all my recipes are plant-based, so it's not dairy. And I combine different herbs and spices in these warm milks to help, promote relaxation and sleep at night. And so I created a book of 55 different recipes for moon milk. And so I'm going to make one of those today for you on the show. And yeah, so that's kind of the basic.
Okay. Well, let's start it.
Okay. All right. So I have a little hot plate here, and hopefully it's warm up. It's super easy to make.
Okay.
You can make it 5 minutes or less. You'll see. But I use plant-based milk, so you can choose whatever plant-based milk you'd like. There's oat milk, almond milk, cashew milk. I mean, if it's a nut, there's a milk out of it. So today I'm using oat milk. I find that oat milk is a little bit creamier, so I like to use oat milk. So I'm making my pink pitaya. Pitaya is a dragon fruit. I don't know if you've heard of dragon fruit. It's loaded with antioxidants and B vitamins, so it's really good for immunity as well. And so all you do really is you heat up, this is 2 cups of oat milk. And you just kind of let that come to like a simmer, not quite a boil, but like a high simmer. So we'll let that kind of heat up a little bit. And you can whisk it to kind of heat it up quicker, get it moving. I already preheated this a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my other ingredients. Okay. So we have maple syrup just for a little bit of sweetness. You can use whatever sweetener you like too. You can use agave, or, you know, if you're not fully 100% vegan, you can do honey even. Maple syrup is usually my go-to for like everything. I love it. But and then these are some spices. So I have some cinnamon here. I have just a pinch of nutmeg and a pinch of cardamom. Okay. And you just put that in there. And then I have some coconut oil here. Get you some of those good fats. Mm-hmm. And then I have that pink pitaya powder, or dragon fruit powder. You can find this at a health food store. You can find it on Amazon, Whole Foods. It's pretty common. I chose this recipe because I think this is one of the more common powders. But it's pink, and basically they freeze dry the dragon fruit, and then they grind it up into a powder. Okay. And it makes your drinks so pretty. So, I mean, who doesn't love pink food, right? I mean, right. I love it. Yes. So then you take that and you just kind of whisk everything together while this heats up. And you can enjoy this before bedtime to help you relax.
And do you take this every night?
I don't do it every night. If I'm feeling particularly like stressed from the day, or I can't calm down, I'll make myself some, moon milk and just kind of wind down for the evening, put my phone away. Mm-hmm. But I've had a lot of people reach out and say that it's been really helping them sleep better. So it's wonderful to hear.
That is.
Yeah.
So do you, can children drink this too?
I'm sorry?
Can children drink this too? Does it help with them as well? Okay.
Yeah. Each recipe in my book is different. If you do use, honey, I don't think that you would serve this to like a child under 1 anyways, but make sure you don't give that to an infant. But yeah, my son loves to drink it. And again, they're all different colors, so it's super fun. Yeah, so you just kind of whisk it around until it starts to come to that really high simmer. And if you like your drinks extra frothy, you can buy a frother. Okay. And you can go ahead and just not get it all over, but put it in there like that. You can see it's starting to really steam and froth up. And if you'd like to, snap a photo for Instagram, you can decorate it with, some dried rose petals, which are actually edible, or, different herbs and flowers, some more cinnamon you can put on there if you'd like. Have fun with it, Uh-huh. There, so that's it. And then you just, pour it in your cup. Uh-huh. And
are you able to bring it closer to the camera so everyone can see?
Yeah, okay. Let me over here. Can you see it?
Yeah. I see the pink. Yeah.
Yeah, nice and foamy and pink and delicious.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that out, definitely.
Yeah, so there's just a bunch of different combinations in my book, and I'll show you my book here.
Please let everyone know where they can purchase it.
Yeah, so you can buy it on Amazon has it, Barnes and Noble. I've seen it on the Target website, Walmart. I've seen it on Anthropology, and so yeah, it's and I think it's being sold in about 5 different languages, 5 different countries. So not just U.S. based, which is really exciting. So
That's incredible. Yay. Well, thank you so much. Please let everyone know how they can follow you, connect with you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me and letting me share my journey and my story and my book. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Again, my name is Gina Fontana. You can find my blog. It's www.healthylittlevitals.com. And that is also my Instagram handle at healthylittlevitals. And I'm on most social media. So just search me out and you'll find me.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing more of your work in the future.
Thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for tuning into the Release Show. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.